Today we have Shyronn Jones, mother, talk with her. We have all of her amazing products. Welcome back to Sister Voices Speaking. Today we have Shyronn Jones, mother, entrepreneur, screenwriter. We are excited to have a sit down talk with her. We have all of her amazing products. We look forward to speaking to her. Today's video is sponsored by Birthday Pink. Get your color today at valdeztve.org. Birthday Pink. Welcome to Sister Voices Speaking. Today we have Shyronn Jones. Welcome, Shyronn. How are you?
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm doing wonderful being here with you.
It's such a pleasure to have you. I'm really excited to introduce you, your material, your business. Shyronn, first of all, tell us where you are located. Where are you?
I'm currently, excuse me, I think I need to take a sip of water.
Go ahead. I always have my little tea.
Yes, I'm just getting my vocal cords warmed up this cloudy morning. But I'm currently located in Atlanta, Georgia, by means of Albany, New York, where we have met over 10 years ago.
Exactly. So, how is it living in Atlanta? I know that we've been facing a lot of different, situations. A lot of voting has been going on recently. Tell me a little bit about Atlanta and what was your move? What was your reason from moving from the Empire State to the Peach State, Atlanta, Georgia?
Yes, and they have such political similarities, being that Albany, New York is the capital of New York, and it houses the legislation. And like you said, here in Georgia is big news. The political arena is a full circus here.
Wow.
And just 2 days ago, the city of Atlanta mayor elections was just held, and surprisingly, um, there was a low turnout as far
Wow.
as voters. I think people is just so overwhelmed by the presidential election and all the pressure around voting,
Mhm.
and people is just really, I could sense they're just fed up. No one even, I don't think they even want to hear about voting anymore.
Right.
Real life issues is really what's needed to be addressed.
I think people are losing hope. As you said, I think people are feeling a little frustrated, not sure who they could trust, not sure who they could turn to. Every time you turn around, there's a scandal, there's something coming out. Like with here in New York with Governor Cuomo, who I rooted for, supported, voted for, chanted for, and then to hear all the scandals that he's facing and potential charges, etc., and having to step down. That bothered me, because you don't ever want to think anything negative about people that you are supporting or in support of. And that really did affect me. So I 100% know what you're talking about because, at this point, you just want security and safety. And it's kind of like, who do you trust at this point? But nonetheless, welcome, Shyronn. So
Thank
we are
you.
excited. We want to know more about your books. We want to know, more about what some of your new ventures may be. But before we get started, Shyronn Jones is a woman living with HIV, an author, movie producer, and an advocate based in Atlanta, Georgia. She is the founder and owner of I Know Awareness, where she provides independent and collaborative HIV education and awareness. She maintains a presence in HIV advocacy and leverages social media by sharing HIV related content with the community, stakeholders in her Facebook group, I Know Awareness, Discover more about Shyronn Jones at iknowawareness.com. Shyronn, you are the CEO and the owner of I Know Awareness. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yes, thank you. And, thank you for that beautiful introduction. And I can't wait for those connected with me to learn more about you, because you're a beautiful person from the first day I met you. And we just have so much history, and I'm still learning so much about you. And it's just mind blowing.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Yes, and I just really hope that the people I'm connected with get a chance to learn more about you, and I'm just excited to learn more about you.
Thank you, Shyronn. Yeah, well, before we go into that, let's actually talk a little bit more about Shyronn. We go way back from the Albany days, and I just remember always just enjoying your company. We met at a we met at a mutual facility, and my good girlfriend, she loved bingo, Teresa. And I remember I was working, I was doing healthcare, and she was getting ready and she was getting dressed up. And I came from work and I was like, girl, where you going? She was like, oh, I'm gonna go play bingo. And I was like, really? And she was like, yeah, girl. I was like, where you gonna go play bingo at? She was like, at this community center. So I was like, okay. She was like, you can come, you can have lunch or whatever the case may be. So I went with her to play bingo. And I believe it was dinner, excuse me. And that's where I had met you, and you had came up to us and you had said, hello to us. You were very kind. And immediately we just kind of like clicked. I think we started talking about hair, and you liked the style of my hair. And you were like, where can I get that style? And I was like, girl, I can take you to the store. And we just clicked, and we immediately went to the hair store right after we ate. And we just kind of like connected, and we've always been good friends. So I'm really honored to have you on my platform to talk about your amazing, entrepreneur business, I Know Awareness. Please share us about that.
Thank you so much.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I Know Awareness started with me just sharing the vast amount of information and resources that I came across about HIV. And then it grew into more, more structured content. And it just kept growing into different types of content. But then I reached a point where I wanted to create some content myself. And it started with my first book, which was an autobiography, A Piece of Me with HIV. And then it developed into a movie, A Piece of Me with HIV movie, which then a soundtrack song was created to support the movie. PD Chapter 3, Premature Diagnosis. And that was based on it was based on Chapter 3 in the autobiography, A Piece of Me with HIV. So it just, evolved, and now it's just a one-stop shop, for a person who want to learn more about HIV.
I have the book here, A Piece of Me with HIV, and girl, I couldn't, I adored this book. I felt like I was right there with you. And as you talked about chapter 3, and as you see, I highlighted it because I've actually read, girl. There were just so many amazing details about this book that I highlighted. But let's just read a little bit about chapter 3, if you don't mind. Premature diagnosis. A few days before my 23rd birthday in May of 2001, I was diagnosed with HIV. Immediately after receiving my diagnosis, I felt like I let my 3-year-old son down, my cousins, my family pride, and myself down, especially
Mhm.
since I had a tight grip on my sexual health up to the age of 18. My self esteem immediately plummeted, mainly because I viewed my main existence as a sexual object for men. I thought I was no longer desirable as a wife and that I would have to settle as one night stand or being an occasional fling. So many people can
Yes.
relate to that, even if they're not positive. Um, as a woman of a different experience, I've experienced feeling like a fling or one night stand or not desirable. So this really hit home for me in so many different
Mhm.
levels. So I encourage people to check this book out, A Piece of Me with HIV. It is a short read, but it's an amazing, powerful, impactful short read, and it is great. Shyronn, when you wrote that segment
Mhm.
in your book, um, in chapter 3, that goes along with the soundtrack, Premature Diagnosis PD3, what was the feeling that you got when you wrote that and you looked back at that?
Yes, and the feeling that I get right now, hearing you read it, it makes me think about something that I did express to you. And it's something that I didn't write in a book, and not too many people know is that I did receive, I did have some cosmetic reconstruction.
Mhm.
I had silicone injections before, and I did that to be more desirable to men.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, and when I received the diagnosis, that was one of my immediate thoughts, that I would not be desirable for a husband, someone who would, protect me and be loving to me, that I would just have to settle for one night flings, one night stands.
Mhm.
And that was one of the things that I just started to think about, as you read that, because I remember when I told you about, the reasons why I had went forward with the liposuction, not liposuction, sorry, silicone injections. It wasn't for me.
Mm.
It was to be more appealing
Do you think you
for
needed
men.
that? Okay, so after the premature diagnosis and living a few years, you felt like that was needed to help be more attractive after having that diagnosis.
Yes, because I seen the response that women who had those injections were getting from men. So I wanted to put myself, you know, in the, you know, in the. I'm trying to find a nice word, but I just wanted to put myself in that market, you know, but it didn't help much because I didn't get much. I had two sessions in my buttocks,
Mhm.
and I did have one session in my upper lip. So it's not very noticeable. So it really didn't make an impact
Mhm.
on me being more desirable for a man.
That's very interesting. Um, that some of the links we go to be accepted, and that can go in so many different directions.
Mhm.
The links and the limits we'll push ourselves to to be accepted in a group or be accepted by a man or be accepted in society. And that
Mhm.
is a huge, huge, huge conversation that we need to have. And we will have that conversation. But Shyronn, we
Yes.
want to
Thank
know
you.
more about I Know Awareness.
Mhm.
Tell us where the name started from.
Mhm.
I love that name and I love the message behind that. And I also want to let everyone know that along with the book comes a movie. Now, you have to tell us more about this movie. You said there's a movie that goes with the book, A Piece of Me with HIV, the movie, and it comes with a workbook. Tell us more about that.
Yes. The movie, A Piece of Me with HIV movie, is streamable right now. You can find it on my website, iknowareness.com. And yes, in creating the movie, I created the discussion guide, and it breaks down each scene, some very meaningful discussions around each scene, and it gives some insight on why I chose each scene. And I chose each scene because there are important discussions to be had for each scene. I didn't want the movie to just, blow over, and people tend to forget sometimes, the smaller details in a movie, and they'll, grasp or certain things, they'll remember about the movie, but in addition to them remembering whatever parts and pieces about the movie, I wanted them to be able to look into this book and really pinpoint some other details that they may have missed or they may normally not focus on, just so they can have some conversations that would lead into healthier relationships, healthier choices, healthier support, and just improving life, and the life experiences of ourselves and our closest loved ones, and even indirect people that we are in contact with.
I think this is very special.
Thank
Um,
you.
this now I'm planning this weekend. I have been very busy with moving and things of that nature, but I did get a chance to catch the trailer. The trailer alone had me like, wow. The soundtrack, congratulations to you. Where can
Thank
we
you.
find that soundtrack? Are we able to find that and
Mhm.
stream that?
Yes, you can download the song through my website as well, iknowareness.com, and you can purchase it for a very low cost and download it, and play it as on demand, as you like. And I would really appreciate if this song, it can be used as a tool to educate. It can be in an educational environment. It can be at an outdoor community event. It could just be for personal use and reflection.
Exactly. I think
Take
that is
this journey with
absolutely
me. Yo, days before my 23rd birthday, I was reminded in the worst way. The day that I experienced my biggest hurt day. Who knew that relaxing on the couch would so quickly escalate?
Shyronn, tell us about, the cast. How did you come up with this cast and how did you decide that these were the perfect fit to play that role?
Yes, and I'm so grateful for the cast that God had blessed this movie with. And the cast came together, the movie came together so effortlessly. It was amazing. It was truly, truly amazing. Um, I had created a casting call flyer. I shared it on social media. Um, I would say 75% of the cast were cast that way. And as some of the characters weren't filled, the directors, because there is a team, a husband and wife team, they had brought in one cast member, no, two cast members. They brought in two cast members, and I had a social media contact person who had contacted one of the cast members and said, "Hey, my friend is doing a movie, please consider being cast in the movie." So with those three efforts, that's how I had gained my cast members.
I just want to let everyone know that the book is beautifully done. I mean, look at these gorgeous images. You get to
Yes, and I wanted to definitely highlight the cast members in the book. Similar to my autobiography, it's not typical what you would normally see. I just wanted to add in what I wanted to add in. And I definitely wanted my cast members' pictures, their contact information, their names to be, to be there and available. If someone else is, working on a movie, they may want to contact them for another project. They may just want to interview them and talk to them about, their experience getting into the character roles. And so it was a must for me to include the cast members' pictures, their contact information, in that book. I know it's something that usually people don't do who have movies. But that's the beauty of being an entrepreneur and creating your own content. You can bring something to the market that's not there and fill in that void.
And you also letting the people you work with in your community know that their credit has value, and you are helping your community. You're keeping the network within your community. You're keeping the channels and the money channels within your community. You may get a booking fee. They may say, in reference to Shyronn, and then they want to give you a booking fee for that. Like, thank you so much. Like, there's a lot of opportunity when you do that. And there's a lot of places that don't do that. You and I have talked very candidly about even agencies who want to pay you crumbs and peanut shells, and they don't really want to support you. So you are paving the way as an entrepreneur, a producer, letting your community know that hey, I'm in partnership. And a lot of places don't do that. And I often wonder why they don't do that, why there's not enough partnership, why there's not
Yes.
revenue sharing, why there's not revenue secret sharing, certain stocks or markets or private donors who would donate and help. And it's
Yes.
also secretive, and it just bothers me. So congratulations to
Yes.
you on your integrity. That speaks integrity. And I'm really honored to hear that, because you don't really see that anymore. So that's really great. And it's
Yes.
well done and well manicured. Who is
Thank
Shyronn
you.
in 3 words? Who is Shyronn?
Mhm. Well, 3 words, and I definitely have to choose a word that means a lot of words, because with anyone. It's just hard to just define. But I would choose my sign as my sign of being a Gemini. I think I do um, have a lot of those traits. I would say very determined, and I will say um, I'm like a Mother Earth, caring about nature and also the people, all the inhabitants of Earth, just really having a care and a connection.
That's fabulous. Gemini, Mother Earth, and what was the third one?
I think I said determined.
Hermit.
I forgot myself.
Those are all fabulous things. Now we can download the movie from iknowawareness.com.
Yes, the
Is that the
movie is
correct?
available for purchase on iknowawareness.com. The song is available for purchase on iknowawareness.com. All the books are available for purchase on iknowawareness.com. It's
Can we find the
everything is
trailer?
centralized there.
Can we find the trailer on YouTube?
Yes, the trailer is on YouTube, and also a clip of each scene is on YouTube.
Also, we get a sneak peek. That's
Yes,
fabulous.
thank you.
Shyronn, is there any burning desires, anything that you may want to discuss with the Sister Voices Speaking platform? Is there a message that you would like to
Mhm.
give?
Yes, and it would be to keep speaking. Um, it's just so much that it's just so much to cover and so many people to reach. And I would say that would be the message for the Sister Speaks. Keep speaking about those hard to have conversations and keep reaching different audiences.
And we should start bridging the gap because there's so many amazing things. Like after reading your book and then seeing the trailer, I was like, oh no, I'm gonna need Shyronn because I have a really fire, fabulous screen idea. And I sometimes feel like entertainment doesn't really go into depth. There's two things that I want to work on. And I definitely need a powerhouse like you who has the tools and the know-how. Um, please check out her website and check this book out. Um, I am extremely impressed, Shyronn, because it's like a breath of fresh air. You see something that's real and organic. And there was a part in the book, when you said you were down and out, you said you go to the bathroom, you shower, you put your makeup on, your clothes on, and you out the door. And I said, you know what? That's exactly what you have to do. Sometimes you can't just mope around. You can't just feel bad. You can't just be like, oh, I give up. And I really like the part in the book
Mhm,
where when you had the diagnosis, you stated to the woman, what do I need to do? You didn't
mhm.
you didn't feel bad. You didn't break yourself down, and that is so impactful and powerful. And I want to know so much more about that because that right there is a mission and a calling to remind people that no matter what an obstacle may be, get up and try again.
Yes,
Shyronn, we'll
yes.
get back
Thank
to you.
you.
That was segment one. I can't wait to learn more. Shyronn, I'll
Mhm.
talk to you a little bit later.
Okay, thank you. And thank you so much for digging into the pages of the book.
You are welcome. Like I said, honey, I had to highlight. We are going to ask so many more questions, but as of now, we have to go to break and we'll catch you back on Sister Voices Speaking.